Here today, or tonight, with my very first episode of the intro to the Necronomicon. This series will be different from my brother's. Way different from my other brother, Joshua Free, who, to give credit to, was the first person I came across on YouTube when I got that glorious thing called the internet. I didn't get the internet until 2011, folks, okay? That was my childhood. I didn't get my first computer, or a laptop, really, till 2011. And then I got the internet shortly after, and I had a lot of catching up to do. And Joshua Free was the first person I came across. Nothing against him. He's a cool dude. Just that his work kind of deviates a little bit. I mean, I'm not going to trash talk it or anything, because I really can't, because I don't have any of his stuff. Because that's a rule of mine. I don't talk shit about something if I don't have it, or I haven't seen it. So, I mean, it's respect. So I can't really say nothing bad. But from reading online stuff about it, his just kind of deviates just a little bit. Same area, just takes a little turn. And actually, I'm going to shut my phone off here for a second. My story begins in 2010. Third spiritual awakening. I've mentioned this all through my videos. So, I mean, like I said, there's some major synchronicities or odd occurrences around the 0-1 either the 0 or the 1 dates of the years 90, 91, 2000, 2001, 2010 actually. So I mean 2001 or 2011 actually, when I got when I kicked things into gear. But if it wasn't for my brothers, including Joshua Free, I wouldn't be making this video. My introduction series on the aminos, which is, I'm not going to lie, a testing ground, which is mixed, and it's kind of bullshit, because you got other witches, spellcasters, sorcerers, whatever you want to call them. You got some that are like, oh, that's cool. And then you got the assholes who are like, they don't stop, is what it is. Like, they find out, they will drag it through the mud along with you. They will not stop. They're vicious piranhas. And it sucks. I mean, it's really shitty. And it's why I've stayed, in the shadows for so long about my path. Hell, back in 2000, 2012. Me and my buddy Ian, we went to a introduction to magic class at our local metaphysical shop. And the teacher was asking us if we followed anything. I told her mine, and she just can't talk worth a goddamn. She just bursted out laughing. Yeah. I mean, it's one thing for the profane, or muggles, if you want to call them, to do that. But another witch, that didn't help my self-esteem at all. Not in the least. So, I mean, I just stayed in the shadows more. Then until 2015, I see Priest of the Necro show up on YouTube. I'm like, really? Okay. Check it out. He's doing his own thing. He's inspiring me to study more, to go beyond the 50 names, which my girlfriend's been doing for the last year and a half. She's like, really? More 50 names work? And I'm like, I mean, she obviously had a head start, but it is what it is. So, I'm learning. And then I'm watching a random video talking about Amino, Pagans and Witches, and I'm like, okay. So I download it, which was my year anniversary with them was yesterday. So I've been with them since the 26th of January 2017. And it wasn't until later on. I mean, I would post, this and that, but I wouldn't really post anything about mine. And then it wasn't for my brother Wayland, which I'm going to say because I cannot, for the life of me, remember his the name he goes by on here. He's over at the Black Tower channel. And it wasn't until then where he was like the final piece of the trifecta, if you will. You got Josh Free, Priest of the Necro, and Black Tower. Excuse me. You got them, and I'm like, you know what? I don't give a fuck anymore. I don't give a fuck. I'm just gonna go right in there. Fuck the haters. Fuck the deniers. To hell with them. I'm not hiding in the shadows anymore. If other people can, come out and proud about their path, why can't I? Just because I got some hater saying H.P. Lovecraft or Evil Dead. Shit's annoying. But you know what? Choice words on that one. Censored limit. So, I make my first post. And, that was dated August 10th, 2017. With 95 likes And well, three comments, but three comments asking, you know, saying, hey, one's a curious question. It goes over well. Same things I'm going to be covering in this video. Safety. My thoughts on teaching. That's really about it, really. The other parts of the post are kind of personal, but I don't mind talking about them. This is episode 1 after all, so I hope you weren't expecting much. As the title suggests, introduction. Now, I'm not going to go over when and where, why and how. I mean, come on. You guys know all this already. You know when. I already mentioned it in the video. Or at least I think. With the synchronicities of 0 and 0-1 years. But if you want that, you can just go to any random video in the last 2 months and just pick a random video. But this is what I'm going to have going on for right now. I am by no means, for anybody who stumbles upon this, I am by no means a teacher. I am not advanced. If I had to say anything, I would say I'm an apprentice magician. And if you've played Yu-Gi-Oh before, you know what that means. But, you know what card I'm referring to. And as the title states, obviously. That's just the name I've given myself a couple of years, or a year or two ago. So, I mean, because I've had people actually come up to me and later posts saying, hey, you seem like an expert. And I'm like, no. I am by no means an expert at all. And, it's true. I'm not gonna lie. Just being honest, folks. And I just want y'all to know that, so I don't give you any false God damn it, what's it called? It's that thing where you were tricked. Like, God damn. It's gonna bother me. I don't want to lead you on. Well, let's just say that. It's gonna come to me, and it's gonna come to me after the video. So, be sure to read the description box. It's false advertising. I say it so goddamn much, I forgot it. Yeah, enough of that. Let's begin with safety. Now this one, I will beat to death in people's heads. Like, I will literally come through the goddamn screen and beat you with a safety sign. I cannot express safety enough. Okay. I'm used to the camera being over there, and I switched over here. Wind interference. Like, I have just spent like 7 years of my life dealing with a mistake that just would not go away. Just would not go away. It evolved, it got out of hand, and don't even get me started. Because it goes into teaching too, so. Because what the next thing I'm about to say goes into teaching. Why I don't personally teach. And, which is, I had a friend. I mean, we're still friends, but she asked me, you know, she was curious. My friend Harry, over in England, gave me the PDF. And like I said, if you had asked me what a PDF was in 2010, I would have said a sexual disease. But I had a laptop then, and it could read PDFs. And it was of the spellbook, which I already had. Because I have all the physical copies. The hardbound edition eludes me with its $70 price tag, but one day. Because I'm after the prized first edition or second edition. No, that was my cat. Just barging in here. Excuse me. And, she asked me, and I'm like, okay, here's the spellbook PDF. Being stupid, like I was, fucking not learning my lesson just from, like, a prior year before. She goes and does, just a random ritual. She didn't tell me what she did exactly, but which I think she was shamed or something. I don't know. She does a ritual, and it fucking comes after my girlfriend. That lasted about a month. Her shenanigans lasted about a month. And I'm like, okay. I am no longer gonna do that again. Which will seem quite hypocritical. But, things have changed since 2012. Things have changed since then. I've learned. I've adapted. And I won't teach anybody. I still won't. However, I will show you the door. As the metal band, or black metal band, Dimmu Borgir said in its song off its last album, the keys are in your hands. realize you are your own sole creator of your own master plan. Now, I've had that in my head since 2010. So, that's stuck with me. And that's what I'm doing. I'm showing people the door. Because I'm going to get people curious anyway. They're going to come asking anyway. Now, the difference between teaching and what I'm doing is, let's go back to safety. I am constantly putting in big bold letters warnings and do not do this, but don't do that. Basically, I'm putting up every yellow and red flag, or not a red flag, but every yellow flag, every caution symbol on all my posts. Because I don't want, I don't want to be careless enough to where it could come back on me. But at the same time, if someone does do something without paying heed, I can at least say, I warned you. Did you not read the warning signs everywhere? Because I wish I had that back in 2011. Goddamn, I did. 7 years of my life. And you can watch 5 of it in my demon playlist. As it was the trash falling. Spoopy. It was just my cats. So, I will be putting warnings everywhere. Because I'm speaking from personal experience. I know others have personal experience. I know this. But I do not wish others to befall a similar fate. Yeah. A similar goddamn. A similar incident like I have. A situation that quickly got out of control. I do not wish that on anybody. I don't wish that on my enemies. Well, Uziel, but nobody cares about her. She's heartless anyway. Yeah, I don't wish it on anybody. Because it was 7 years of my life. Granted, I did learn a lot from it. And, sad to say, the bad outweighs the good. There's not much good in there to begin with anyway. 7 years of hell to not even a week's worth of good. So, I mean, so that's why I don't teach, and this is why I will always beat safety into people's heads. I said it in the upcoming, because this is recorded after that, because it's not released yet. So if you paid attention to my Luke Perry post, you'll get it. This book, in my experience, changes. It literally will change on you. I can read something, doesn't matter where it's at. I can read it, come back to it a day later, or a week later, and I will find something that wasn't there before. I cannot stress that. Happened to me so many times. Like, I read this book all the way through at least 3 times. Twice with this copy, which is my copy, and once with my mom's copy, which is the one that called out to me. So, because I got my mom's copy, I got my copy, and I got a display copy. I need to get a display copy of the spellbook and the gates. Because I'm also a collector. And it's even happened in my mom's copy. Take it as you will. Believe it if you do. Believe it if you don't. But I assure you that no matter what copy, it changes on you. Like, there's a particular section about the Scorpion Man. The first time I read it, didn't see it. Second time I read it, I'm like, wait, what? Scorpion Man. So, I mean, like I said, believe it if you don't. It's just in my experiences. Now, I wish it was possible to say that bad memory, but if I'm not looking at the physical copy, I'm looking at a PDF or the Lovecraft RU website, which is basically scans, not PDFs, but scans. So, I mean, and I wish I could say the same for Donald Tyson's Grimoire of the Necronomicon, but for those coming to this video expecting H.P. Lovecraft, go to that book. You'll get that there. As Donald Tyson does his own thing. And that's where he makes, all the Lovecraft stuff. Which I also own a copy. But it doesn't thrill me. Like, I have it for collectors, but it just doesn't wow me. Like, it's cool and all, but on par with the Simon copy, it would be fair to say what Simon doesn't do, Tyson's does. And what Tyson's doesn't do, Simon does. And Tyson's is asking for a little bit more material things, whereas the most expensive thing in the Simon is the copper dagger of Inanna. That is the most expensive thing, and which is, I'm finding a way around it. Give me one of those copper-plated chef's knives. They're like $10. So I mean, $20 if you get the 2-pack. So I'm only gonna need one. And if I buy a 2-pack, you know, I'll have one for the kitchen. Because copper is quite expensive. Just saying. It's ridiculously expensive. But, lost my train of thought. Anyway. The book will change on you. And because I originally had a video planned way back in 2014 of going over the differences between the I don't know what edition this one is, but the $7.99 copy to the $5.99 copy. And outside of it being an inch or a few centimeters taller, and the back is completely different with a draw-in quote from a thing from some local testimonial from somebody. That's the only differences on the outside. Now, a couple of pages are a little different, like the layout's a little different, but even then, I find myself going like, wait, what? No. So, you pick up a physical copy, it will change on you. I'm just saying. You'll think you're going crazy, but you're not. Again, my experiences, but and I will say it once more, I look at this from a theistic standpoint. I do believe that these are entities made flesh, and despite that, I've learned very recently that this is not everything is meant to be taken literally. You have to read between the lines. Especially the chapter on gate walking where you're opening your front door and then bam, you're in the middle of space. Like, what the fuck? And then you start hyperventilating and then... So, I mean... Do not take everything literally. You have to see it. You have to see beyond what it is. And, yeah. So, and I know there's going to be assholes coming in here saying H.P. Lovecraft and all that shit. From what I remember reading in the Book of Dead Names, if that is even worth anything, the word of that, from Mr. Lavenda, they purposely drew little here and there's from Lovecraft to the actual manuscript of the same name. which, if you look it up, it has very different variations of the same thing. Book of the Dead, Book of Dead Names, Book of the Dead Laws. Take your pick. You're not going to get it wrong. And, so, I mean, yes, there is a slight marketing gimmick, but at the same time, hold on, I'm back, had to take care of that real quick. There is a slight marketing gimmick, yes, but there are very few parallels to Lovecraft and the actual... Hold on. Back again. Kids, right? This is why I wanted to film it fully at nighttime when they were asleep. But, so sorry about that, folks. I'm just lucky this has a pause button. Sibling rivalry shouldn't exist at 3 and 6 years old. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Kind of the thankful reason why I was an only child. Or only child. Yeah, I was lonely too. But that's neither here nor there. Anyway, few parallels. But outside of that, what's obviously stated in the book, and some of it's poor connections anyway. So, I mean, Azathoth, a Zagthoth, if you read it, a Zagthoth is an Anunnaki. So, I mean, Azathoth is the creator of the universe. So, I mean, come on. So, I mean, I want to say something about Yog-Sothoth that is the equivalent to Yog-Sothoth, but we'll get to that much later. We'll get to that much later. So, I think that's going to do it for this very first introduction video. Let's see here. Let's get back to the master post. Well, let me go over anything I needed to say. Outside of saying I'm gonna try to stay open for people. Like, I'm gonna try my best not to have the series one way, because like I said, I do see things theistically. So I'm gonna try to be open for interpretation. So, I mean, if you want to see things theistically, you are more than welcome to go ahead with. And if you want to see it differently than mine, more power to you. In fact, I encourage that. Personal gnosis or something? Or whatever the kids these days are calling it. Personal gnosis or UPG or whatever. I just fucking call it personal experience. Your experiences are personal to you, and they're different from mine. And if they have any similarities, then, you know. But outside of that, I ain't gonna give it a fancy title. I'm not hip with the kids' lingo these days, but I am current with the memes. And yes, going back to 2011, getting my laptop, you bet I got caught up with all the things that I missed. So, yeah. Next episode, or chapter 2, will be pronunciation. And, like I said, this series is gonna be... I'm gonna try to keep it... open-ended, but mainly I will be discussing my experiences. Like, when it comes to, like, what I've experienced during, ritual and whatnot. Hell, even the book changing. You know, that's my personal thing. But, now, I've heard other people say it, too, you know. But they've had experiences similar to it, so, I mean... But, other than that, I'm going to try to stay neutral, but I will be going over a lot of stuff that I've experienced, so... Okay, it's fair to say, I keep beating this dead horse, you know what I'm talking about. Certain things I will be neutral about, but most of the time it will be through my experiences. And I know I've repeated myself, and I'm sorry, but I'm just wanting to be sure, okay? So... I hope you've enjoyed this very first video. I am very sorry for the interruptions. And let me know in the comments section down below your thoughts, comments on anything related. Questions. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Give it a thumbs down if you didn't like it. It lets me know. So yeah, this video will be out before episode 95 of Late Night Rant Ramble. So, like I said, if you pay attention to my Facebook post about Luke Perry today on Friday, the 26th, and then you see that video, then you're gonna be like, oh, that's what he was talking about. Because I already pre-recorded that video. Talking about this video was in that video too, but I decided to bring it to you anyway. I just had this feeling telling me it's time. And here we are. I will work on the lighting next time, so don't worry about that. I'm going to try to be in this position. So, but I will try to have better lighting so you can see my ugly mug better. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And yep. I would like to also thank not just my brothers in arms, not just them, but I also like to thank a few others, and they know who they are. For their support, and despite the turbulence that has went on in the week or past few weeks, those who stood by me, whether they were involved or not, I want to thank them too for their support. Because quite honestly, I was about to say just fuck it, just delete everything, and they know who they are. There are a few, but they know. Violet, my dearest Thorn, Satoshi, and the oddest of them all, she goes by the name of RK. I call her Archie for some reason, because it looks like Archie to me, but it's RK. The whole Archangel thing. She was also a big she was also a big benefactor in this support, whether she knew it or not. With her bold and brazen personality. So yeah, just want to thank those people as well. My brothers know who they are, so much love to you guys. Y'all know who you are. And if you, the casual viewer, are wondering, you can go to my YouTube channel, check out the little thing next to my subscribe button. It says Channels of Awesome, and you will see them. I've also included Michael W. Ford in there because he's also a big influence. Not just aesthetically, but, and even though we are on two different things, a lot he talks about can be salvaged and applied here. So he's also another big inspiration. Although lately it's been more aesthetic looking, but on the stuff he does produce, I look for anything salvageable when I apply it to myself. Now I'm just rambling and I'm being sentimental and mushy. So I'm just gonna end this video before I bring out the pancakes and tell you to start soaking up the sap. So I will catch you all later. Be sure to click that little bell, and yeah, I will catch you all